Hello, and welcome to another video from Sustenance and Covering, the only YouTube channel you need to not only survive the current apocalypse, but actually enjoy it. And today we're going to talk about your programming, because your programming has got to be right in order to survive. Every living creature comes from the factory with pre-installed programming. That's why if you saw a hawk 2,000 years ago swoop down and grab a rabbit, that's because he was programmed to do that. 2,000 years from now, if you find a hawk, he will still do that. And if you come back in 2,000 years and hawks stop doing that, there won't be any hawks. And there'll probably be way too many rabbits. Now, humans are the only creature that has the ability to overwrite its pre-installed factory programming. We are programmed as humans to love one another. It's built into us. It would be impossible to break free from that programming if it wasn't for a lot of hard work on the part of some really bad people. We are programmed to do everything in our power to help one another. We are programmed from the factory to make the earth more beautiful, to maintain it. So you can see just from those things that people are not going by their programming. And that is why the human race is taking a chance of going totally extinct, just like that hawk would if he stopped doing what he was programmed to do. Now, a lot of people talk about surviving by keeping bullets and keeping canned food and all that, but that's only for a very short term. Eventually that's going to run out, and you got to start doing things like you were meant to do in order to survive. The forest will not feed you if you don't feed it. The reason I'm even bringing this up is because I had to kill some chickens this week, or last week, and a little boy in the neighborhood come over and, well, I had brought a chicken to his daddy that I had cleaned, and little boy wanted to come watch me clean some chickens. And I said, well, if your daddy says all right, you can. And so his daddy said, go on over there. Well, I went out there and started setting up for another chicken, and the little boy was just so excited, and he was just, boy, I can't wait to see you kill that chicken. So anyways, I told him I changed my mind. I wasn't going to do it, just go on home. Because I don't really understand the concept, how people have gotten to the point where even a child doesn't know to respect life. When I was little, we had animals, and we knew that they were going to be eventually killed. But we were made, my brother and I both had to raise our animals. I had hogs at one time, and when I would go out in the field, that hog would come up to me and rub his nose on me, and I'd have to sit down on the ground, and he'd roll over in my lap, and I'd rub his belly. He knew that was coming. But eventually he had to be killed, and I hated it. But I was happy at the meal. I wasn't happy to see that animal die or suffer or whatever it is that was making that child happy. But another reason that really upset me is because I've seen that look on people's faces before. When I was younger, I was in the military for 6 years, and our unit was called back for emergency callback one time. We were in Brazil, and they brought us into this room, and the commander come in there and says, boys, we're going to get to show them what we've been training for. There's some problems in Grenada, and we're going to war. And we had most of the ordnance in that area, so that's why we got pulled out for that. But in any case, about the time he said that, everybody in that room started jumping up and down with glee. They were just so happy to get to go to war. Now, years later, I was able to locate some of my old ex-military buddies, and the ones that I talked to about this incident remember it completely different than me. They say, well, you know, it was one of them things I didn't want to do, but I knew I had to do it to save the freedom of democracy. Well, I have had memory problems in the past, but that's not something I would forget, because that really affected me, seeing them boys jumping up and down like that. I don't remember, and I know for a fact, nobody said a damn thing about the freedom of democracy. All they said was war, and that was enough to make everybody happy. same look that little child had. You're gonna get to see something get killed, and in this case, other human beings. So people have gone so far out of their programming that's why we're in the situation we're in right now. Every one of us needs everybody else's help to survive. That's the way we're designed. So some people, I have two different types of videos I post. Sometimes I post a rant, and sometimes I post a how-to. You can look at this either way if you want to, but this is really a how-to video. How to survive. Change your head. Change your programming back to the way it's supposed to be. Now, we're going to go through some hard times where it may not be in your best interest to walk up to somebody and show them love. You may have to hide for a long time till all them warriors die off. And trust me, they will, because even if they don't starve to death, they'll kill each other trying to not starve to death. So, I don't know. I don't really have a conclusion to this. Just, I know that if you can't learn to respect the earth around you, you're not going to survive. Native Americans, indigenous peoples of all countries right now are being hunted to extinction. They're being exterminated and assimilated to get rid of them. For whatever reason, so-called civilized man does not want them around. But those people know how to take care of the earth. They love their surroundings, their animals. They don't jump up and down when they have to kill something. It's called a sacrifice. It's called a sacrifice because they're giving up something that's precious to them when they kill one of them animals. Even though they're being hunted and have been hunted for hundreds of years, they're still alive. And when this is all over, if we don't change our programming back to the way they got their program, we ain't gonna be alive. They'll be the only ones here. But if you just adjust yourself to back the way humans are supposed to be, you can be a survivor.